Playful shenanigans, that's what's going on. I don't really have a good song for this thing. Yeah, so after Busy Beats and Briefer Bladder episode 500, which was a 25-hour extravaganza, wow, that was quite the thing. I'm not sure I will do another 25-hour extravaganza anytime soon. I think I'm going to probably stick to the 12 hours. That seems like a good length of a celebration. I mean, 25 hours, then you need to actually not sleep and you'll be tired for a bit. Whereas, I don't know, I feel like 12 hours, I can keep up my energy for 12 hours. Longer, no, that's too much. So, um, yeah. Today I was going to play a bit of an RPG with Sarah, but we've not managed to talk because I just reached out today. It was pretty last minute. That was very much on me. But what I'm going to do instead is just do a wee bit of working and pondering on my new game. And if you want to join me, if you want to ponder along with me, then I will be very happy to have you along for the ride. So this is my new game for the busy bargain bag. It's not going to be my next busy bargain bag. I don't think that I should make too many. As a broad decision, I've kind of decided that I'm going to alternate between things that are within the scope of what you'd expect to see on BGG and things that are a bit more wacky and weird. Things like a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. Sound making is a brand new thing. Complimenting, gamified compliments are a brand new thing. Let me actually get this off so my hair doesn't look quite so shabby. A game about drawing creatures, complimenting the drawings, and then complimenting the compliments. That's a game that I don't know if there's a mark, but like I'd like to get that out. And also the game that I co-designed with Laura, but needs a bit more work. A game about that doesn't have a good title yet, but it's a game about a conversation, a pivotal conversation that potentially changes everything. And it's a game about role playing. So I guess it's a game about role playing, a pivotal conversation that could change everything. But anyway, these are the games that I think that, yeah, I want to make some games that are just a bit more outlandish. But I also want to make some games that are a bit more, hey, that's a cool thing. I would like to make a game all about that. And hello, Jess, it is lovely to see you. Um, this must be very late. What is it, like 10 p.m.? Am I actually that's not that late, right? It's probably only about 10 p.m. in Thailand. But I hope you're well. And congratulations on being an excellent human, Jess. Um, Yay, my time zone knowledge is on point. So yes, I wanted to, having played Fantasy Realms, I felt like this is a nice game. I like the taking lots of cards, and there's lots of cards that interact with one another, and you've got to kind of think, oh, if I get this card, what does that mean? This card means that I've got to grab cards of sequential numbers. This other card means that I've got to grab cards of particular suits. This king needs to go with a queen. This fire will burn the tree, so you don't want to get them together because otherwise that's not good. And I thought this was really nice, like the idea of having sorts of a world where you've got all these cards. But what I didn't like about Fantasy Realms was the fact that the first time you play, it takes a bit too long for my liking. I feel like the first time you play, it's like, I do a thing, I've got an idea, and then I've got to wait for everyone else around the table to make their own decisions. And it's not a massive ordeal. It's not, but I don't like waiting. I want everyone to be doing stuff at the same time. I want everyone to be drafting games at the same time. I want to be yeah, saying, hey, let's like pass pick and pass draft. Like Sushi Go, that's a fantastic type of drafting. Or the classic Magic the Gathering booster draft where you've got all the cards, you pick one of them, you pass the rest along, and then you pick one of them, you pass the rest along. This doesn't mean that you won't have times when you're just twiddling your thumbs, because for sure the person on your right might be taking a while, and then they come past them left, and then you're waiting for them. Come on, pass me them. But at least you're waiting less time because everyone is making these decisions simultaneously. And this sort of this simultaneous decision making is something that I personally love. So if other people are easily bored and want to play simultaneous decision making, then maybe that's also something they would love. And so that's why I thought I would make my own variant on drafting. Let me first share a screen. And Jess says, I am easily bored. There we go. Someone who is, yeah, right after my own heart. It's like when you're playing a game, you want to be playing the game, right? Jess says, chess is terrible because presumably people take turns and then someone can take a while over their own move. But like if you play with someone, if you're playing speed chess, like if you play blitz chess where it's like 5 seconds per move, that would be a totally different game, right? And so, no, 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 listen. Oh, it can't be. I'm not getting into this. Um, but anyway, so what I'm going to do is so I tried this new drafting system last Friday, and let me actually stop that screen and start up a brand new screen on Twitter, and I will explain what it's all about. I explained this very, very briefly on Saturday morning, but because I had only half an hour to talk about everything, I didn't go into it as much as I would like. Also, it is a brand new system, so I wasn't quite ready to share. But now, I think I want to tell you all about it. Share screen, my screen is not green. It's kind of black and white, and yeah. So, these are a bunch of cards. So I just needed some cards. It doesn't really matter what was on the cards. Some of them, you want to grab 5 of them because the one on the top left, if you've got 1, it gives you 0 points. 2 is 1 point, 3 is 3 points, 4 is 10 points, and 5 is 15 points, which is massive. And there's 2 of them, so potentially you might be able to get those 15 points for having 5. The ones to the right of that, 1 is 0, and 2 is either 3 or 5, depending on which type you've got. Then you've got a bunch of cards that are just worth 1 or 2 points for having one of them. Then you've got the other cards, which you get points for having 3 of them. So you might get 1 for 1, 3 for 2, and 7 for 3, which is quite nice. Or you might have 0 for 1, 2 for 2, and 8 for 3, which is even nicer, but only if you manage to get that third card. And then there were a few cards which were a wee bit different. One of them gives you bonus points for cards with a 0. One of them duplicates any other card. One of them gives you bonus points for cards with a 3 on it. And one of them gives you points for stuff with unique stuff. Now, all of these cards, that's just the cards that you got. And my system was that everyone would have a small market of like 2 or 3 or potentially 4 cards in front of them. And when you were ready saying, I want these cards are worth taking, you would slap your hand on them and they would be yours. But you have to take them, and you can only take cards 3 times during the game. First time you take a bunch of cards, you get to keep 3 of them. Second time you get a bunch of cards, you add them to everything you've already collected, you get to keep 5 total. And third time you collect a bunch of cards, you get to keep 7 total. So once you've got 7, you're basically out of the game, and that's when the game ends, when everyone except for one person has 7 cards. So here, me on the bottom, I've gotten a 137, and also I've gotten free cards which give me bonus points for cards with free on them. And someone on the top had a 1, 2, 3, 4 for 0, 1, 2, 3, 10, 15. So they get 10 points for that, and 5 points for having the 2 0 5s. And then their special card that gives 1 point for everything with a 0 on, gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points makes 21. And so these are all the end games. You can see at the end of the game, like everyone's got 7 points, 7 cards, I should say. Sometimes people have more points, sometimes people have fewer points. But the point of this is that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on at once. You need to think quickly. You need to think quickly about what are you doing. And so, yes, I thought it would... That was played 4 times. People enjoyed it, but I'm not planning to play that deck ever again. I'm planning to make a completely new deck for this Friday. So I thought it would be nice for this Playful Shenanigans to kind of go a little bit into how I am doing that. So what I really wanted to do was to make a bunch of cards that by the end you'd be like, oh look, I've got like a world going on. This is really cool. I've got some creatures. I've got some, like, maybe I've got a house for one of the creatures. Maybe they've got a little fire. And then this other person, they've got, I don't know, a band going on. Maybe there's a bunch of creatures that are all making music together because they've got a card that gives them a point per every music tone or something. So I thought, what kind of cards would you want in a world? And what I'm thinking is that you want creatures. You want like nature. So the nature include, like, I know that creatures and nature, but in this world, imagine that creatures are kind of a bit more anthropomorphized. So they're kind of a bit more like humans. And then the nature, that's stuff like so the creatures, there's leaders, there's I was thinking musicians, but maybe the music notes should be just part of there. And there's workers, maybe artists. That could work. For the nature, there's some plants, and maybe there's some rocks, and maybe there's some events, and the events could be stuff like hurricanes, or maybe that should be elemental. I don't know, elemental. But... And then finally, we've got what I think of as the crafts. So we've got the art, the tools, and the machines. And so I definitely want, and so I'm just kind of trying to think of 9 different properties. And so what kind of stuff would we have at this point? Let's populate. Let me squish that over here. And so I think if about, let's assume that we have a 45 card deck. So let's say, I think I could imagine a whole bunch of creatures. Let's say there's 12 or 15 creatures. 15 seems like a good number. And then let's say there's let's say there's 15 things that are all nature. And that goes up to 30, so there we go. And then let's say there's 15 things that are, goes up to 45. And the reason I'm picking 45 is because 45 seems like a good number of cards. Because normally I want 54 cards, but I'm also thinking with the 54 cards for my game, I want the front cover, I want the back cover. This gives me space for the rules, but then I need more cards for the rules potentially. So these might all have rules on one side. rules. There we go. Boom. So yes, what I thought would be potentially fun is if we think about different things. So if we've got creatures, well, we want a teacher, that's a leader. We want a disciplinarian, right? Disciplinarian. And like I'm just and let's see if these vague things actually work. Yeah, so I'm thinking there's a musician, maybe maybe I should really be thinking about what jobs do people have and then going backwards to categorize them rather than thinking about the categories and then going forwards. I guess we've got the parents, we've got the children. What other creatures or animals would you want in a game which is kind of making sort of something where it's making a world with stuff in it? Okay, nature. We definitely want some blah blah blah. A tree, another tree. Fruitsy tree. Rubbery tree. Maybe there's an angry tree, I don't know. Maybe there's a fruit bush. Maybe in this world there's a jumper tree, like, or a underwear tree, or maybe a a money tree. No, that feels a bit okay, we've got windows, house, knife, fork, spoon, oh, yeah, we do want diamonds, cool looking rock, and then fire, hurricane, lightning, a gentle breeze, and yeah, so this is just me pondering the game, and if you want to ponder along with me, then feel free to shout out things that you think are important to the world, because any representation is kind of ascribing your values, right? I mean, if I say that my world has steel in it, then what I'm basically saying is that steel is something of value. And I'm basically saying that, hey, what I'm basically saying is that steel is something of value. I'm saying that steel is something that should be represented, something that, there's a reason for these things to be represented. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I think we should have like some wacky things, like an spectacles, a trumpet, maybe a multi-mouth trumpet, and then what else? Um, um, I guess drum set. I'm just thinking about arms, and then the rules for that is points per arm, points per mouth, points per. No, that's. Yeah, creature with 2 eyes. So what else would be in this world? What else? And Jess says that Jess has won at Yams again. Jess has indeed sent me 2 photos. And yes, I see that. Congratulations. You did indeed win 390 to 290. Congratulations. Jess seems to be a bit addicted to that form of Yahtzee, but I'm enjoying how much you are clearly really excited by it and how much you're going for it. I mean, it's a form of. Okay. Sorry, I'm not super clear on the difference. Is Yams a subset of Yahtzee, or are they considered 2 completely different games? So apologies if I misspoke. But yeah, back to this. What should be in these things? A pile of rubbish. Or maybe a record player. Maybe there should be crafts. Maybe there should be painting. Maybe there should be a paintbrush and paint. Why not? Someone told me that Yams is easy compared to chess, says Jess. I'm going to challenge that fool. Wow, well, all I can say is that I pity the fool. But yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty vicious. I didn't realize that you were so into revenge and whatnot. Well, yes, crafts. We've got. So, yeah, we don't need all this stuff. We can just have cutlery. That feels a bit boring to have so many different things. Windows, house, knife, fork, spoon. But let's at least get some more ideas going. How about socks? I just realized I don't have any clothes. How about yeah, maybe a wig? We could have a wig, why not? And what else? Oh, a plate. Why not a plate? That seems like a thing. And so what are we going to have in nature? Maybe we have worms. So we've got creatures that I'm basically saying these are all human. Like all these creatures, I might have fish, but like they are going to be doing their own thing. But then it's like Usagi Ojimbo, where Usagi Ojimbo uses the cats and the rabbits and everything to basically play the role of humans. What they get to play the role of animals. And in that world, they have little lizards. So the Tokage, the little lizards, are the animals. So maybe I should have some animals. Maybe I do have worms. Worms are pretty cool. And maybe there's manure. Manure. that would interact well with the trees and stuff. And hello, James. Thank you for joining. I am basically just brainstorming a game, so I thought it would be interesting potentially for people to hear about this game, and I hope that you are generally well, James. Stretchy time, stretchy time. I'm going to get up and stretch, 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 and then I will head out in 20 minutes anyway. I mean, James is based in America, so I don't believe that you know each other. But yeah, I can understand how that would be a bit weird. But having said that, if you told your ex about this show, then I could imagine them potentially popping in one day. But no, nature. You know what's nature like? The sun and the moon. Why don't I have the sun and the moon? And then nature. Yeah, maybe do 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 do. What else? We could our if I had birds, that would mean that there can't be. That's kind of suggesting that. So I'm just thinking about, because I've got creatures, but I've also got the nature stuff, and I'm thinking the nature stuff should really be not fish, not birds, because those are I can have bird-like creatures and fishy creatures in the creatures, and they're just kind of going around the world. So maybe that doesn't quite work. Let's have. Jess says, I doubt that the ex will pop in. He's living under a rock now. He has watched before, but then went to live under a rock. And yes, indeed, Brazael is an excellent name. I like it. I mean, it's an interesting point about whether it's about privacy. Like, are people happy to be their own personal self online? Yes, I mean, personally, I do a lot of stuff online, and I feel like my personality, I would like it to be, yes, Behruz Bez Shahriari. I don't make it, I don't do anything where it's, oh my gosh, this person is the same person as that. I can't believe, like, if you went to some places, like, you would be able to connect certain dots. I do for sure choose to segregate parts of my life. For example, if I would do things in private with someone, maybe in the bedroom, that I would not do with someone at a convention. Obviously, we all do different things, and there are things that I would do with someone potentially in a consensual manner that are very inappropriate to do to kind of bring up when I'm talking about children's games. And so, but for the most part, it's not like any of it I'm ashamed about. It's like, yes, I've had sex, but it's not as if it's something I'm ashamed about. It's just that I don't push it in front of everyone. Do you know what I mean? And so obviously there's little bits of segregation, but at the same time, it's all parts of me. And so, yes, James says, I do not need anonymity. I am happy to be myself online, and I am okay to be identified. So, yes, we're probably not criminals, and I'm probably not a criminal, and yep. Yes, I believe that Jess is probably not a criminal as well. But in all seriousness, yeah, I don't feel like anonymity and privacy. The only point where that feels like a problem is when that information is going to be misused. If someone were to say, "Oh, I'm going to hold this fact against you," and try to ruin your career by telling, um, I can't remember who Loki is an imprint of. That's really terrible. I should know. Loki, Board Game Geek. Um, Board game publisher. Um, oh, it doesn't say on Board Game Geek. That's yeah, but basically Loki is an imprint of another publisher of which I've forgotten the name. And if someone was like, "Oh, I Beth said this," or it's the same thing. Like, I've said some bad things about Jamie Stegmaier's games. I've said some things about a lot of people's games where I'm like, yeah, that person's games, I did not enjoy this. But yeah, I don't, yeah. Just says, just that most people don't use their full names on Twitch. But I always appreciate it. And frankly, it makes me trust the person a wee bit more. But anyway, back to the thing that I'm doing. So I've got one space for something natural. I can't think of more natural things. We've got the fruity tree, the rubbery tree, the angry tree, and the fruit bush. And worms, manure, diamonds, a cool looking rock, moon, fire, sun, hurricane, lightning, a gentle breeze. I think there should be some flower petals. Well, I've not got any flowers, just general flowers. Yeah. Um, Maybe the creatures, we've got a pollinator. So we've got the pollinator who's all about the flowers. We've got, yeah, what other creatures would we need if we were to, I want to kind of think about this whimsical world. And let's actually just delete all these things. What humans would you want in a game? What if you were to have like 15 creatures, 15 weird things? I'm thinking there would be some sort of octopus. Maybe the octopus is a scribe, a writer. Let's say writer. Okay, let's say there's an actor, and let's say there's an illustrator or a painter. Painter, I like that because we've got paint. So we've got the teacher, the disciplinarian, the parents, and the disciplinarian could be like sort of bits of police. Oh, what else could there be? What else could there be in this game? This is perform. Yeah, I'm thinking there needs to be a yeah, carver, right? Like a sculptor. A sculptor. And maybe there's someone who makes oxygen. Oxygenator. Like maybe it's a creature with flowery bits and it's a kind of leafy creature. That could be quite cool. Maybe there's a inventor. You're asking like, Jess, why don't you ask me directly? You don't need to. I'm trying to make a list of things that would fit into a world. So I'm inventing a game. So this is the very early stages of a game, and so this is some thinking in a game where you're drafting cards and you're grabbing cards quickly and you're building up a little world. What kinds of creatures would you want in that world? Oh, Jess, the reason that I'm doing it publicly is for people to contribute and interrupt. It's all good. Anyway, so what kinds of things do we have? A judge? Maybe we've got some sort of judge. Or a rule maker? A rule maker. Maybe we should have... I just realized that should be sculptor. And game designer. Boom. That feels fun. Okay, so now let's see if this actually... Oh yes, we had 5 kinds of leadery people. That seems to actually have happened. So let's call them all leaders. And how many artists do we have? And what's a good name? Because worker, I don't like that word. So we've got the we had more than our quota of artists, but there we go. So that down there. Oh no, there we go. Actor and writer. Sculptor, painter. Inventor's not really an artist. So let's... So the only thing that are not artists or leaders are the inventors and the oxygenators and children. That it feels like there should be a larger number of things that are not artists. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and pollinator. Okay. So, resource things. I don't know what to call it about. Why is the C in cool capitalized? Cool? Where's cool? Oh, cool looking rock. Oh, I guess that's just yeah. Random, my chaotic mind. Yep, I changed it. I'm not sure I would add rule maker or judge. Depends on the feel of the game you're looking for. That's a fair point. Jess says, I'm a teacher, so what? Are you saying that you're more likely to notice the bigger decapitalized letters, or are you telling me that that you think I should have more teachers, or I'm not sure what you're telling me there. Oh, I like this. Nurses. So cops, I was like disciplinarian for me is like disciplinarian is a cop, but enforcer. I like fireman, but yeah, a teacher is already there. Let's get rid of one of these artists. So the sculptor can work with the rocks, the painter can work with the paint, the actor can work with other people maybe. Writer maybe wants a pencil. Game design, yeah, one of these two. I'm not sure about the game designer or the actor. Yeah, one of those two would probably be going. I'll say actor or game designer. There we go. And let's do that. And yeah, Jess likes disciplinarian over police. I like nurse, though medical person. Like healer. I really like healer. We need a healer for sure. We need a healer and an inventor. Okay, maybe we get rid of the oxygenator because we've got plants, right? But we still want the pollinator because in this world, the insects are kind of part of the creatures. So yeah, um, the bees will be part of these creatures. Um, are there different types of children? And I was just thinking, just a whole bunch of children. Caretaker. Oh, maybe I should put instead of parents, caretakers. Caretaker. Yeah, I like that. Um, and but fire person. Yeah, let's just put fire person for now. I like that. That seems like a really good shout. Yeah, children do have personalities sometimes, and but for the sake of this game, if there's 15 cards which are about the creatures, I think that one card of children might be enough. I'm not sure. I mean, you are a teacher, so you are in touch with a lot more children, and maybe some of these, maybe like the inventor could be like a tiny person. But I'm sure I didn't capitalize that F. I think it might have randomly capitalized. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe like mm, breeder, like people who breed. No, that's good. What about beauty therapists? Huh? Beautician? Yeah, I'm going to just add ideas. Writer? Question mark. Beautician? Question mark. You see, it's automatically capitalized. That was not me. Um, just the chaos of the thing. Um, if creatures may be a subset of each creature type for children. Now, I just want to have the 15 creatures though. Masseuse. Ooh. But healer. Maybe healer gives the massages. Hmm. Okay, and then what would be a. Is there a word that can link all these things? Healer, inventor, fire person, children, pollinator. Like if there's something that can link three of them, then that would be quite nice because that's the thing about games. Like it's just a part of the world. You can't represent literally everything. And sure, there's a fact that when whatever you represent, you're kind of saying this is important. If I represent sushi, then I'm saying that this is important. If I'm making a game about saving people from fires, then I have to choose what's important, what's the mechanisms that go well together. Lots of love, James, and bye for now. I hope you have a wonderful day. To it was lovely to see you, even if it was just in textual form. And yeah, thank you for your contributions. Yeah, James, I'm going to write this down. Thanks to James Brazael, Jessica J. Sankey. Okay. I just realized that J and like it only rhymes if you say it with a weird accent. Sankey, J, Sankey, J, Sankey. Anyway, so yeah, I think that I've got an idea of what I'm doing, and then oh, sure thing. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to start thinking about the rules of these things. So, what would these things interact nicely with? Oh, I just realized there's not a cook. We need some sort of cook or feeder, or I don't know. Um, inventor. Yeah, maybe there's a cook here. Like maybe an inventor counts as an artist. And yeah, engineer. I just realized that we need an engineer potentially. If we had children, well, children, I could imagine they get. So what I'm trying to make is a card game where everything gets points for other things. So the children get plus, would interact well with caretakers. Pollinators would interact well with the plants. Let's say that's all of the plants. And so let's say that plants seems to be a good category, because then how many do we have? Okay, we've got exactly 5 plants. That seems perfect. Boom. Done. And yeah, the fire person can, or maybe it's an emergency. Yeah. The emergency person, and they can get rid of the cards. Although in my game, getting rid of cards is really easy, so that's not a big part of it. Yeah, this is where now I start thinking, okay, I've got the list. I'm going to maybe start thinking about the way that things interact and putting them down on paper and shuffling them about. Although, ooh, if we had played a whale, like there might be a creature that is a whale and a creature that's a shark. Like it might be that the shark is the disciplinarian and the whale is a parent. So yeah, the type of creature isn't part of this list because the species is just completely irrelevant. I'm kind of talking about the role in here, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to try and get outside before it's completely dark. So I am going to end this, but this has been a nice playful shenanigans. I feel like I've done a wee bit of work. Thank you very much, Jessica, and also James. Although I know that James probably isn't there anymore, but I thank you both very much for being part of this. And today, for this playful shenanigans, I progressed. And next, hey, I'm not doing any BBBB shows. This is not a BBBB show. This is separate. So if you look at my stuffbybez.com/streams, then that's a totally separate thing. At this point, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to say that, yes, so remind people if you go to that link, then you will see all the things. It's been good fun. I've thinking of all these things, putting them together. Let me actually put the windows and the house here. Actually, that's a terrible place. Windows. There we go. And now the window. And now the. There we go. Yeah, that feels like points per feet. And then wig could be like a points per hit without hair, and paintbrush. Plus paint plus painter. Like you get big points for that. Plus painter. Why is it still messing up? Plus paint plus painter. It kind of thinks that I'm trying to type in an equation, but I'm not. I'm not trying to do that at all. And hello, Panic. It is lovely to see you. But yes, basically, I am wrapping up the initial second stage development of this game. And this game is a game about choosing when to take cards, and hopefully at the end, your cards will work nicely together. Maybe that's the name of the game. A game about choosing when to take cards, and hopefully at the end of the game, the cards will work nicely together. It feels a tiny bit long, but maybe that's okay. But yes, that's the second thing. But it's lovely to see you, Panic. I hope you are generally well. Yes, indeed, it wasn't a real BBBB show. It was just me doing some playful shenanigans. I will be back next Tuesday. I'll sometimes do other things. And for now, I wish you lots of love. If you want to check me out, I am there. Share, spread the word. Thank you, everyone. And for now, the only thing left to say is bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 Panic. Bye, bye, Jess. Bye, bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day and lots of love. Bye, bye.